Flippity piss.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to Mechs on Deck. Monday, April 13th.
Monday.
How you doing, Chewy?
Good, man. I guess like a main water line broke near us, so we just don't have water for like 3 more hours.
All right.
So that's fun. Yeah, other than that, not too bad. So hopefully that gets fixed like ASAP, but obviously with the world shut down, I feel like that would take a little bit longer. I usually try and avoid caffeine super duper late, but
Hey, you know what? Sometimes it'd be like that. Like last night I was hanging out with some people playing some games in Discord, and then I was like about to shift to doing something else, playing something else, and then my internet was like, "Hey, I don't want to work right now."
Bro.
Yeah, and so I was like, "Well, I guess that's a great opportunity for me to go to bed." So I did that, but Stash,
Y'all
we
playing
are
COD
not.
yet?
I haven't played COD. I haven't even downloaded Warzone. I've watched people play it, but
Dude, Valorant gang.
yeah, we played some Valorant. earlier with a buddy Willio in chat. Shout outs to Brez1623. Excuse me. Thank you for the tier 1 sub for 8 months.
Let's see who's here. Gohan, Cartoon 91, TFF Cypher, Tyler Durden. Check out CYO Caps. Frisco Melt, Lansky, Stash, Willio, Abracadaniel. Let's see. Tyler Edit 1. What's up, man? Krazkar. Man, we got some old gaming bros,
Dude,
in the chat.
we do.
So, yeah, we've been playing a lot of Valorant. We'll probably, if you guys want, we'll most likely be playing some Valorant on stream soon. Pending, we don't really know how long that beta is. So, but other than that, that's kind of been our lives. I've been watching Valorant and playing Valorant. It's been enjoyable. And then I watched Knives Out today. So staying busy, I know it's a tough time, but guys, just stay busy, talk in the Discord. I'm always available. So hit me up. Guess who finished their first board? LNSP. Tell me what you made, bud.
I think it might be. Yeah, people are talking about movement in Valorant. I don't think movement's that bad. I think it's just something you have to get used to. It's very CS like. You can b-hop and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen Knives Out though.
It's good.
So
Definitely.
also, yes, nerf Raze. Raze is broken.
OP. But anyway, quick shout out to our sponsors. So we got mechsondeck.dixiemech.com. Go pick up GMK Nautilus, a classic, one of the OG sets, one of the first GMK sets that I ever owned, actually. So definitely go check that out, as well as canonkeys.com. You can go to canonkeys.com/mechsondeck to go check out GMK Noel. A lot of people really like that set. It's got a very pastel blue and pink. Can't go wrong with like blue, pink, and white.
Oh yeah.
You just can't. So, and then next up, Zap Cables, which I'll give him a shout out here in a minute. So go check out Zap Cables. He's got the best cables that in the keyboard hobby, in our opinion. So be sure to go check that stuff out. He's got pre-made cables to buy, or you can get DIY kits.
Absolutely. And then of course we've got switchmod.net/mechsondeck. Pick up some GMK Frostwitch coming out here. I think later this week. I believe it's the either 18th or 19th is when that one goes live. So check that out, as well as Project Keyboard. mechsondeck.project.link. They're not running a set right now, but they do have GMK Masterpiece coming up, which is a pretty cool looking set. And they also have extras of a pre-order for the extras of GMK Bingsu, so you don't necessarily have to wait for the extras to be released. You can go ahead and pick one of those guys up. And then, of course, Type Beast, shout outs to them. That's typebea.st. Sign up for their news.
Type Bay.
Type Bea.
He is Bay.
But yeah, sign up for their newsletter. It's a good time. Keeps you in the know. Gives you some cool opinions from someone that's got some knowledge in the community. He's been in the community for a while, so it's always cool to see someone putting out something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got a pretty cool mail day. I love your hair. Look at that, Osiris getting hair compliments.
Yeah, I don't think it's for me, my dude.
Boy howdy. Macanova, thank you for the 69 bits. Oh yeah, man. We got some cool mail. I've got a board that I am building tomorrow that I'm very excited about to show off. And then we got some other really cool stuff. So let's switch it to some mail time.
All right, let's see. You want to go first, Chewy?
Hell yeah.
All right, this is messed up. All right, cool. Let's go to me. Thanks, Discord. All right, this one's messed up as well. We'll stay on the regular one. Thanks, Discord. All right. Hey, Discord. You did a great job of changing your entire program and messing up everything. Hey, thanks, bud. If you don't know, Discord changed video calls last week, and they made it to where everything is very different in how it's placed. So that destroyed.
And it changes too now.
And it changes. And it also put these not things are not squares anymore, which is annoying. Everything's like rounded edges with these light up green things. It's like they tried to make it more like Zoom. So we'll just stay here. We don't have the full screen, but we can still show it off.
Well, this is not. Oh, are you going first?
I'm going first.
All right.
I want to now. So this shout outs. Someone very graciously gifted us a couple things. So this was their gift to me. This is a brass plate for an Orange 75, which is something that I had wanted for a very, very, very long time. And so I'm very excited to get this and to build it with this and get the Xylants out of there. If you saw today, the video that went up was a typing test of that board. Also, I think some people didn't quite understand that there's like 35 decibels of gain added to that, so you could actually hear what's going on. But this is an Orange 75 brass plate. We can go back and forth on this screen here. You go now, Chewy.
All right. This isn't a keyboard. Not upped. Got a new mouse, so that's cool. I'll save the cooler one for last, but I got thanks to Kinnick and Quakems in the chat for their words about the GMMK Model D. They make decent beginner keyboards as well. So works. It's really what I'm looking for in a mouse, is that it works. And it works. So hooray.
Yeah.
That's the boring one. I have the cooler one here in a sec.
So we received a few artisans this week. So as I said, the Orange 75 plate was the gift from a very gracious viewer to me. This is the gift to Mr. Chewy, which is a pretty freaking cool looking nightcaps. I don't remember the actual name for this colorway.
Oh man,
I sent it to Chewy.
Let's see where it is.
But it is the nightcaps and Hungerworks Studio. Big Thulu, I believe is what it's called.
Yeah, it's the Fug Thulu. Let's see. Found the. Hold on. Close. Scroll the way up. The Fug Thulu VW4.
Yeah, VW4. That's the colorway. It's the VW4. It's like
Magical Metals.
What, I just knocked off my desk, but I did. And then I received a cap that I had won in the mail, or that I had won in the mail today, and that is I finally got a bad luck. You can't see it. See it? Got myself. This is one of the ones that's like it's supposed to be like a Nintendo Switch controller, kind of. It's nice. It looks awesome. I like this artisan. This is my favorite. Would love to get more of these, but they're kind of hard to come by. So, who knows? See.
Yeah. And then the last thing that I have to show off is probably the coolest Baca that I have seen so far. So this is, if you don't know, Baca 60 is a 60% one keyless sandwich mount keyboard that I designed with Blind Assassin. And this is what Zap got. Looks kind of, it's just a black one. Nope, it's two-tone black and green. And the coolest part about it is he got the weight in black.
Ooh.
And I will be building this tomorrow. This thing looks awesome. It's a little fingerprint heavy. What switches are going in it? Some lubed creams.
Ooh.
Nice and creamy. So I will be building this tomorrow at 8 p.m. I'm very excited. I've got 2 Bacas coming up. 2 custom colored Bacas coming up.
That thing
so really
looks
excited.
awesome.
Yeah, it's like it's a Milwaukee Bucks theme. with how it's going to be built. I don't have like Milwaukee Bucks colors, so like caps. So we're gonna do our best to. The cream kind of goes with that theme though, so we're gonna find something to throw on there and make it look nice. The Baca 60.
The
He did
Baca.
say that. The Baca 60. I love it.
I wonder if he plans to infill the Baca 60 on the back with like a cream
That'd be dope.
paint. It would take a lot, but it would be pretty cool. It'd look pretty cool.
So
There's
very
an idea.
excited to build that bad boy up. Oh, and I guess okay, it is. The plate is like cream.
Oh, really?
I think Zap confirmed that for me. But this does not look. I've seen the Baca plate hundreds of times. Yeah,
That's
so you
pretty.
kind of
That's gonna be awesome. Cream City.
Cream City, baby. So, yeah, fun mail day. And then other than that, that's all I've got mail wise. I've got some cool stuff coming in this week, but it is just not here.
Absolutely.
So, but we're gonna get into some fun topics. The color matching, because some other things, headphones, you can, if you scroll down, all our gear is down below. So, but yeah, we're gonna get into some color matching. We've had a couple different sets that have come out in the past, probably like 4 to 6 months, that people have claimed maybe are different from renders. And so we're gonna get into it. Might get a little spicy, but you know, that's, it's a spicy meatball, right?
It is. It is. And I think it's an interesting topic because I think it's funny because you're fighting a bunch of different things, right? It's just like when we talk about typing tests as well. There's a lot of different factors that go into the way that someone deciphers a render versus reality, that may affect the way that one looks the other. Like if your monitor is, if you're looking at your phone and you're looking at your monitor, you're used to seeing those, so you may think a color looks a certain way, but in actuality it may look a little bit different. It's just one of those things that might change. So
Yeah.
we're gonna get spice.
Yeah, it's funny. So Drifting Bunnies, whenever he was making Forge, he would send me stuff and I'm like, I can't look at this on my laptop because my laptop monitor is not, it's just a workhorse laptop. It's not anything for gaming, it's not color editing. So Sean Francis Ryan ESQ, thank you, man. We are doing all right. So I couldn't look at it because I'm like, I'm not going to be able to tell. Like my phone is going to be the best. I usually try and judge most things off my phone because oftentimes my monitors are changed for gaming, and especially on my right side, oftentimes I'll have the vibrance up a little bit on my right monitor, just because that's how I like it. And so oftentimes I will have to like look at it on my phone if I'm really trying to judge how that color is. So lots of factors that go in. But the biggest factor, and one thing we'll talk about today, more detail, is that renders are renders. They are not physically a thing that you take a picture of or a thing you see in daylight. And I think sometimes we, as a hobby, it's almost like witch hunty, where it's like you're almost waiting to see, oh, that doesn't look like this, that doesn't look like this, that doesn't look like this. The other thing you have to think about is not only is everyone looking at different screens, everyone has different eyes. So people are going to see different colors differently. And it turns out that some sets might just look different to other people.
Yeah.
So it's just, it can be goofy.
Well, and I think there's a lot of times where things may not necessarily line up to the way that they initially were, but it's generally accepted to be better, or a lot of people will end up liking it more. And sometimes it divides a community. Like you look at a set like Mizu, I think there are lots of people that really enjoy the set, like Chewy, who I think, you have it on your number one
Sitting in front
Baca. Whereas some other people may look at it and be very upset because they were expecting something and then they don't feel like they got what they had initially bought into. And I think there's a lot of things that go into that, right? We have the limitations of the actual plastic itself. That was one of the things with when GMK Waves was first initially released. Is how is someone going to be able to get a plastic to be as vibrant, especially the ABS plastic, to be as vibrant as GMK Waves was expected to be? They did a good job with that. I don't think it's like 100% exact to the renders by any means, but I think a lot of times we end up struggling with those super ultra bright colors because not necessarily because of being unable to match it, but just the limitations of the plastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's a thing that concerns me about like Dracula is like highlighter. It's going for like a highlighter theme to it of the accent colors, and I'm like, it might be more muted than you think because it's plastic. I know Modern Dolch had this problem because Modern Dolch, while the red came out great, the original color that they picked for the red was actually a metallic color, and obviously you can't recreate 100%. You can't recreate metallic through plastic. That's kind of why, like, I know that GMK Olivia colorway can sometimes get can look goofy on like a rose gold board because it's not rose gold. It's like a peachy pink.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not rose gold is a metal. It's got gold in the name. It's a metal color. So that can throw off the contrast, which that's why Olivia, in my opinion, looks better on boards that are not trying to match rose gold. But you have other sets that I think oftentimes it looks a little bit better muted, just slightly, because those vibrant colors will stick out very, very much. And like Waves looks more muted than the renders, but that's okay because I think honestly, if it was like glowing green, then it's like that would be almost too much. It would be overkill.
It'd be to the point where you're just like, I can't even. It's like radiating yellow into your face, yellow and green into your face. And I think you're right. The muted color does really help out a little bit. I think, and Pluto just brought it up. There are some sets I haven't. Okay, since Bento, I am no longer feeling comfortable judging the legibility. I think that's a word of Legends on sets until I see it in person, because I wholeheartedly believed that Bento did not come out well until I saw it in person because it photos just so terribly.
Yeah.
It looks different in every photo. You can't read half the time. You can't read the pink, but in person it looks great. And I don't know if Vaporwave is the same for that, but it could be. That's my 2 cents to that.
Need to see Alex Odos. Welcome, guys. If you don't follow Alex Odos, you definitely should. I think that's a big issue with Mizu. Mizu. So, for those who don't know, white balance is a thing. White balance is how warm or how cool a picture looks. And I mean, hell, I can show it literally right now with my white balance is pretty white and I'm making it whiter, making me look more pale. And then I can look like I hit the tanning booth very, very fast. It's just deciding not to go, and start getting more and more orange because I'm adding more of an orange, a warmer color. So how sets are going to look different in different cameras. And so there are two. Oh God. So I've always brought this up, especially with Osiris, because I remember I sent him 2 pictures and it was literally 2 different angles I took outside of GMK camping. And one of them, the set looks almost orange. and the other looks bleach white. So it just depends on how you're looking at it. So that's why, like a set like Mizu, the white balance can be super off and will wash out that blue. In real life, it's a very like baby blue, pale blue.
Yeah.
But oftentimes it just gets washed out to look white because it's just really hard to take pictures of. I think I've taken one good picture of my board with Mizu on it.
Yeah, and especially when you're using your phone to take these pictures. Yes, phone cameras have gotten amazing and the color sciences and stuff are great on them, but all you have to do if you have a computer with LEDs in it and you can turn them to white, turn it to white, point your phone at it and take a picture, and you will see how awful phone white balance is, like how auto phone white balance can be. Because lighting, the way that it has, like in certain, we were talking about this today, specifically with the set that a lot of people are talking about right now, right? GMK 8008. A lot of people are saying that didn't necessarily come out the way that they had expected. The thing about the pink on 8008 is, from what I've noticed, is the way that it catches light. The pink, the more light you throw at it, the more vibrant the pink looks. Which I think is true on the renders. The renders have more light on them. They look better. If you put it on a dark background, it's catching all that light. It looks the way it does. It looks closer to what the renders are. But if you don't have a ton of lighting on it, if you're looking at it in maybe a dark room or a darker atmosphere in general, it's going to have more of the, like, closer to like the eraser pink that I've seen people say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, so I was over at Osiris's a few weeks ago during Mech Madness, and I literally walked from one side of the room to the other, and you could see, based on the lighting of the room, that color pink change.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy, and that's not a bad thing. I personally, 8008, not for me. I just didn't care for it, but I think it looks fantastic and it's photographing really well. And I think a big reason that it's photographing so well is that it is kind of muted. If it was super duper vibrant, it would look goofy. Go look at Bento. Go look at the pictures of Bento. That like salmon pink color is so vibrant and it looks blurry in most pictures because of the contrast and how vibrant that salmon pink is. And I just think that I think Dixie nailed the fact that it was slightly more muted. And also, if you look at most pictures, if you, I know Dixie does this, and a lot of people do, and I really think you should, is Dixie will walk outside and take pictures of the caps because that's going to be that's obviously the most natural lighting. It's going to look the best outside. If you're sitting down at your board going, oh, this looks rough, just go walk outside. That's how it actually looks. It's just your room is lit up horribly.
Yeah.
Like if it looks goofy. Like I talked about this. So when I got nines was a gift from Osiris. And I put it on my OSA, and there was all this fluorescent lighting in the room. And because I was like, oh, it's gonna be gray on gray, it's gonna be great. And I put it on, and I was like, this looks like shit. Because the anodizing was reflecting all of the light, making the anodizing look silver, which just caused nines to look almost black. And it looked like a really bad match. And I was actually really upset because I kind of like being super hyped on like this cap set's going to be on this board. I'm never going to change it. So like lighting changes so much. And I think many people get really worked up over what they see, and potentially just one person posting a picture, and you may have no idea how good or bad of a photographer they are. And if they post a picture, I mean, it's out there. Someone took that picture. So
Yeah, and I think there's also situations, and I don't know if this is what had happened with 8008. I haven't talked to Dixie about this, but I know in the past there have been sets where they get to the color matching process and they realize, okay, I should maybe change this color just a little bit, from like they do it on purpose in a sense to make the colors more cohesive, right? Because you can do renders all day, but in actuality, it is different, right? Renders are only so good. They're really going to only work so well. Whereas when you are looking at the actual samples in your hand and you can say, okay, well, maybe this color looks a little bit better if it was a little bit more dull. If it wasn't so vibrant, so bright. Or maybe vice versa. Maybe this is way too dark. This wasn't what we expected when we were picking the RAW or Pantones for renders. So we're going to change to this one. And now we're going to move up. Move up to something a little bit brighter. I think there's also that chance. And I think, yes, when you are purchasing a set, you're buying into the renders that you're seeing, but you're also buying into that person and their project, and you're trusting them to provide their vision, more or less. And if the person that's doing it, that's sending the color matching, yes, you're entitled to being upset. I'm not saying you can't be upset, but I'm saying it's part of the process as well. They want to be happy just like you want to be happy with the set. So
yeah, I think this is something. So one thing I will say, renders are perfect because they are renders. They are computer generated pictures that are meant to be perfect. But case in point.
Yeah, and you mean that in like they're perfect. They have no variables.
There's no variable. There's no difference. The person that's doing the render was able to pick the lighting to make it look the best. It's like, you know, the big thing, they use mashed potatoes to make ice cream, to take photographs of ice cream. Like, you can look this all up. They spray like food what's the word I'm looking for? Not
photography.
Food photography for like product shoots. If you look into that, it's hilarious. The amount of stuff that
they use, like, when they do pancakes, they put pieces of cardboard between the pancakes, and then they pour motor oil on it instead of actual syrup.
Yeah. So it's kind of like that. It's kind of like we're trying to put forth the best picture, the prettiest picture to sell. Because at the end of the day, you're also trying to sell a product. And so I think that sometimes when you look at renders, like, that looks good, but you just have to get an idea. Don't try and grab a picture of the render, and the second you open it up with a picture of the render right there, go, what? It's slightly different. Like, you're at that point. Are you excited that you got something, and that it looks good, or are you worried about, did I get exactly what I paid for? Because if you're just like only trying to worry about, you know, is this going to match 110%? Is this, if I hold the cap up to the cap on the screen, is it going to look the exact same? Probably not.
Yeah. And I think there's always, in situations like this, there's always the vocal minority overwhelm the silent majority. Is that technically how you say that? And I think there's a lot of people who, like, I look down, I have my Bauer that has 8008 on it, right? And we're talking a lot about 8008. I love the set. Not Chewy, it's not for him, but obviously he appreciates it, like he said. If it was brighter, I think it would not be as pleasing to me, honestly. If the pink was brighter, I think it wouldn't have achieved the legibility of the pink text. Would be a little bit too much, personally.
Yeah. Yep.
I think, and Loops asked if we're talking about just buyer expectations or group buy runners misrepresenting the renders. I think we're going to get into a little bit of both. It's not one specific thing.
Yeah, I think that does raise a good thing. And I wanted to touch on something that you had actually kind of mentioned, is supporting the creator. I think we're seeing enough sets run by the same people, or the same kind of group of people, that you do start to build that trust. Like I said last night to Langlandia, I was like, I don't care what you get. I'm buying it, because I know, one, you're going to do a great job. 2, it's most likely going to look good. You and I have similar tastes in color schemes. And 3, I know you're going to do a good job in that like color matching process. And so that's why like King Nisty, everything he does I think is great, or at least the sets that I'm like that catches my eye. I forgot what set he just ran, the yellow and black one, like Skyrider or something.
Mhm.
Wasn't a big fan. I'm not a big black and yellow fan. But camping and lime, I was like, I love these sets, and if he ran something that was like, oh, I kind of like that, I'm just gonna trust him. If it's a little different, I trust him because I know he's doing that for a reason. So it's kind of like you build that trust. Like I know Peaches and Cream and Terra are going to be great because I know Rinsuya did a good job on Mizu.
Yeah.
Some people might not think. I think that the decision with Mizu was made because this is what looked the best. And I can kind of lead into what you were talking about, which is sometimes it's not about matching a picture on the screen. Sometimes it's about just picking what looks the absolute best.
Yeah. There are times those so, and that's what brings me to entry points. And I've said this before. When there's been different times where set runners, some designers will post a picture of their color matching, which their color matching chips, which is always interesting to me because there's always hubbub about it. People talking about whether or not it actually matches. And I remember one time specifically was with Waves, and he posted the first color samples, and he posted this picture, and it was like, that obviously doesn't match, but I can tell that this is a bad photo. Like physically looking at the rest of the photo that was not the 2 caps in his hand, I could tell this is a poorly done photo. And it was because it was done with like an iPhone 5.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, it's 2019 and we're on iPhone 11, and like color matching or color science in phones has gotten significantly better since the iPhone 5. And not saying anything bad about someone having a phone that old. It doesn't matter if it still works for you, but it's one of those things. It comes across a certain way. And I think there's sometimes where creators that are making these sets trust themselves, trust the vendor that they're using, that like Dixie with, Dracula, he wanted to make sure before he posted pictures that it got approved by everyone. And then he posted pictures of the render, or not of the render, but of the samples. 159, I know, does a lot of work. Make sure that he always shows his the Raul or Pantone colors with the samples, so that way you can really see. Because I think that takes out some of that third party of like, oh well, this doesn't look right to me on my on my monitor. Yeah, I only showed it cover exactly. It covers your ass because it shows it. Hey, this is the color that is intended, and this is the cap.
It's such a, honestly, like Spice Time. That's such a stupid thing that it's like we feel like we have to. That designers have to do now.
Yeah,
like
I don't feel like they should.
It's dumb. If I bought Peaches and Cream, I could have never. The only reason I think you want to show off like the final thing is like, look, it's done. Get hype. Like it's a hype thing.
Yeah.
But the whole like, do you guys think this looks good? I'm like, why are you asking that? Because you're gonna get someone's gonna say no. And like, I don't know. I think that in this hobby, we have taken advantage of the fact that yes, we used to kind of build the hobby together. We're past that. We're past that. We have designers signing like deals with vendors as like a primary designer vendor thing with Rinsuya and Canon Keys. Like it's kind of like, where's the faith in the humanities? The
Yeah.
humanity of people. Like if Rensuya makes Terra, I don't care about what Terra's accents are gonna look like. I know it's gonna look good because it's in the hands of Rensuya and Dixie, two people I trust that are gonna make it look good.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple people in chat that are agreeing with that statement, and I do as well. I like the angle that some of the people are taking, where it's like they post it and it's like, I'm not happy with this, I'm changing this, and here's why. Or this is what we're going with, I like this. And it's not like, here's colors, do you like them? When it was like a lot of people were doing the here's colors, do you like them? I was like, don't do this. This is opening up a can of worms that you don't necessarily want to get into.
Yeah.
Because you know what you're looking for. Of all of the people that we've talked to who have designed keycap sets, they all design the set for themselves. It is something that they wanted. It is something that they had the vision for. Ultimately, at the end of the day, yes, our opinion is important as consumers, but they're the one with the vision. And it's like, if they're not happy with the colors, they should fix it. If they're happy with the colors and they love the way it looks, then that's, I mean, at the end of the day, you are supporting that person as much as you are that product.
Yeah. And 159 brings up the best point that I really wanted to make. Beat me to it. There are maybe 3 sets that won't flip. Maybe 3. You could probably, honestly, it's 1. And the only reason I say Plum is because Plum is so old now that it'd be hard to find one that it's like, hey, not only is it extremely used and shined up, and most people don't like that. I like shine, but I also like shining my own caps. I don't like buying shined caps. But it already had color matching because we can discuss it very briefly, but Plum and Necro both were sets that very infamously screwed up the color matching process.
So I think that that's also, it deserves a little bit more than just a touch, because I think we overdo our hate on the color matching and like, oh, this doesn't fit. If you go back and you look at the Plum renders while you are holding a set of Plum, or you've seen Necro in person and you look at the renders, it is not even close.
Yeah, no.
And we have not had a set where you look at it and you're like, that's not it. Those are not the same. Yeah. Those are not. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's that. Like, if you don't know what it is, just look it up. GMK Necro, GMK Plum. Necro is, I think, the worst of the two because Necro almost borderline goes into a different color. Plum at least like kind of retains its like purple on white theme.
Yeah.
But it's just it's rough. But yeah, Plum and Necro are the infamous ones. We haven't, there really hasn't been a set that has even come close to that. You know, people I know at first were kind of relating Mizu to it, but I think people chilled out once they started seeing Mizu. Solarized Dark. I never really, one, I don't really like Solarized Dark to begin with, and 2, I never really saw renders. I wasn't, when that set ran, I was not in the hobby. But the no, like with Necro, what's funny is I actually like the way Necro looks in person. I hated the render.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how things are. So if you have Necro and you're looking to sell, not right now, but hit me up. But that's just one of those sets that I'm like, hate me for liking it, but it's got drama on it too, so it's kind of this just awkward situation. Also, Yang Lad, what's up, man? I guess your ears were burning.
I just wanna put the Necro side by side of the render to the but yeah. God. It's just so different.
And I will say, even that picture doesn't even, the alphas are greener and like IRL, they're way more green, which is not at all what that's supposed to look. strange. Sorry, Wellip said something. This is, I feel like another issue here is the community has created the expectation that every buy community created, and therefore everyone feels like they should have influences on the design. But that is quickly changing as the community grows. Vendors become more and more established. 100%.
Yeah, and I think people are, I don't know, there's a thought process of we are a community, so we support these projects and we should be focused on the project, but I also think there's the side of we should be focused on the people. We want the people who are making the projects to succeed. You know, in what they're doing, if you support what they're doing. Now, if it's a situation like a Plum Necro, obviously the community didn't really support that and was not happy, and
Yeah.
you know, nothing against Jessica as a person, but she's no longer really designing things to my knowledge. I haven't seen anything from her in forever in the community, and that is unfortunate that it went to that level. But I think, you know, supporting the people is what is important as well. Like supporting these creators who continually bring things that they love and that they care deeply about to the community, and making it available for us to purchase.
Yeah. Someone asked earlier, by the way, thoughts on Bleached. This is Zurkowski. Is that what they said? Zurkowski. It is a different shade of white. It is GMK black on another white.
I don't know.
I have nothing against it.
Yanglad, I don't know what you just put in the. Okay.
Gosh, shout out to Anthony.
Oh man,
need to hit him up, but maybe not right now.
Yeah.
Social distancing. We also did 50 Shades of Grey. Let's do white now. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, is it me or is GMK camping hella underrated? You're talking to the right guy.
I don't know if it's necessarily underrated. I just think
I don't think it's underrated. I think it's gonna have its second wind. It just has been out for a long time. It's just whenever Camping Round 2 ships, I think it's gonna re-hit its stride again.
I think also Camping Round 2 would have been bigger if they didn't do the Japanese sub-legend.
Oh yeah, hands down.
Also, SA Camping Round 2,
yeah, which your boy's gonna be getting in on maybe for 2. Is it me or is Skeletor, but it's just me? I was gonna say, is it just me or is Skeletor underrated? I don't know.
I don't think Skeletor's underrated.
I think Skeletor is right where it needs to be. GMK Skeletor is a niche within a niche within a niche.
Oh, young lad. Don't hurt Chewie's feelings like that.
Well, it happens.
I don't think Skeletor is anywhere near underrated. Skeletor is an aggressive colorway. Like in the time where a lot of things are muted and we have select sets that have like a few colors that are bright, or the bright is very minimal, Skeletor lives in its own land of being very
Skeletor's
bright.
just like, fuck you. Fuck you, I'm here, I exist. Yeah, it's strange. Why you gotta hurt me so bad? Yeah. But yeah, it's one of those. I know that BT has Skeletor. I'll listen. I'll to his face tell him that his keyboard decisions are terrible. No, but I love BT. But no, yeah, it's just one of those things that I do think that the overall tone towards cap set group buys is people need to start looking at the pictures and going, okay, I am aware that I am buying this, and I'm aware that it's not going to be 110%. But I'm also aware that in me buying this, I am supporting the person, or I'm putting my trust in the person that they're going to make this the best possible. They're not going to be like they're not going to half-ass it. They're not going to go, oh, it's good enough. Most people that are designers in this hobby don't say that's good enough.
I also think it's one of those situations, if you buy it, and you're not happy, they have this. There's this one fantastic and wonderful thing called r/mech market,
Absolutely.
where you can put have insert set name here, want PayPal, and get your money back, if not more.
Or trade.
Which is unique. That is a unique thing to this community. More often than not, is that you lose money on things, and in the world of keyboards, somehow you get your money back, if not make money. So you can,
but
just
not too much money. Don't flip.
Yeah, well, yeah. Don't be a dickhead.
Don't be a dick. Young lad. Yeah, we had brought that up where it's like it's impossible to render everything. I can walk around my house or my apartment with GMK camping on a board, and depending on where I'm standing, it will look better or worse. Has a designer ever canceled a buy because they felt they couldn't get the colors right? No, not that I know of.
Yeah, not that I know of either. I think there have been some sets that have been through like 4 or 5, sometimes even maybe 6 rounds of color matching. I know there's been some intense color matching where it's like, we got to keep going. I know like Olivia was one that took a long time to color match. I think it's getting better now. I think really last year was when people kind of started really going for RAL over Pantone. At least that's when I started to notice it. Like everyone was like, oh no, you got to do RAL because GMK knows RAL. Pantone, they're kind of like, meh, we don't really get that one, but RAL we can hit. And so I think now that more people are shifting to RAL colors, it gets easier. Now you need to know what your RAL colors look like, but just buy a box of
a RAL
book.
White on black mods, black on white alpha color accents. Yes, maybe. I sure, sure. I love reading like random conversations that are happening. You should go through that many rounds until it matches the renders because that's what you sold. Anything short of it is the wrong. Yeah, I mean, yes, I agree that you should color match as much as you need to get as close to what you are trying to sell. And do what you feel is right. I do believe that you should try to make, once again, never say that's close enough unless it's like the 8th time and you're literally like pulling your hair out, like, and it's, and then you, at that point, you're just overthinking it. But, maybe don't show every single round because sometimes, if you look at it long enough and people start saying it, it might start looking bad if enough people are saying it looks bad.
And there's also like the fact of like it's two sides to the same coin almost, because it's like if you spend too long color matching, people are going to be like upset that it keeps getting delayed. But then if you put it out and it's not something you're 100% happy with, then people are going to be upset. So it's just, that's what sucks there. And then I think it's funny, Metallic Charles has started rendering in the past year, and he said sometimes the render engine / render isn't accurate, and that is very true. Drifting Bunnies shared like renders from like 5 or 6 different renderers for Forge, and they all looked very different. Some of them looked, the navy blue was almost black. Some of them it was very bright. So that is a huge change to the actual render as well.
159, you're in that position, man. Get good, scrub.
Dude, come on, man, figure it out.
Get good.
Sure do love you, bud.
So how deep is the Navy in Forge? Well, we'll never know, sadly.
Yeah,
pour one out.
But it is pretty dark.
GMK Sloth. Look at it. But very deep. Yeah, it's, we'll touch on this. This is a little bit different because I feel like most people don't. I feel like most people are okay. Now, when we talk about board matching colors or board colors, if the anodizing is just straight up like mismatched top to bottom, that's not what we're talking about right now because that's like a whole nother problem. We're talking about a promise of a color and then receiving something different.
I
And
totally
when I
forgot
say-
about this until right now.
yeah. So, do you have those pictures handy? So
Yeah, I think
it was
I
brought
do.
it was brought to my attention that there was a board that was sold that, you know, a lot of people like this mint green. I wonder why. You know, who would ever like that? Not Mechs on Deck, that literally uses a seafoam mint green as their logo. It's a great color, in my opinion. So yeah, not exactly mint color came out in this way.
I'm doing the meme of the expectations, reality.
Versus reality. Okay, yeah. So if you haven't seen, the candy bar was released and they put it in a mint colorway. A lot of, like I said, a lot of people like this kind of mint. It's got that like 70s vibe that people enjoy. Brighter colors and like kind of more like Pantone colors are hard to get in a metal finish unless it's like paint. Unless it's like something that, you know, like a Cerakote, obviously you can go look at the Cerakote, but anodizing can be different. I get that. But this is something where it's kind of like it's awkward. Shout out to Langlandia. So we have not seen your Singa 159. So if you want to post it, throw it in chat. But yeah, no, like that's just one of those things. Like it's easy to do gray. It's easy to do black. If you're a board designer, do matte coloring if you can, by the way. Matte colors, the way to go. But it's easy to do silver, and sometimes silver can be even super fucky because silver, it's like, well, what point is it silver or like basically white? And what point is it just dark gray? Like that's a super fine line. So to me, just cut out silver, make it white or make it dark gray.
Do purple always. Yeah, I think you can. I think purple's also a safe one that if you go anywhere on the spectrum of purple, someone's going to be happy. It'll be okay.
Someone's like, sure, why not? Screw it. As long as both pieces match.
Yeah, true. And speaking of matching, so obviously everyone in chat has now seen the pictures of the mint green. It was a mint chip, I think was the actual color.
Yeah. Makes sense. Candy bar.
Yeah. It was supposed to be mint chip. It was supposed to be like a more mint green, which was a very pretty color. I was going to say if there was a candy bar that I was going to get, it probably would have been that one or the purple. Just because I do like that kind of like seafoam green. It came out like not mint chip. It came out
a beautiful color of green, just not mint.
It came out actual green.
Yeah. Which, like that alone, I would be pissed.
I was, when Chewy sent me these earlier today, I just go, that's bad. And I was sitting here in this chair just laughing because I'm like, that is so awful. That is so awful.
Like if I'm buying something mint, that means I'm now buying a set. Like this is how my brain works. And I'm sure a couple other people, you buy a board, you start thinking, ooh, what, you know, I'll figure out the switches. Like, how am I going to make this kind of look cool? Cause you know, what the switches are is not important to like how the entire board's going to look. And so you're like, oh, like I'm gonna color match. I mean, there's a reason. My Baca is blue. It's got 3 different shades of blue on it. I'll show it off a little bit more tomorrow, but it looks cool because, you know, shout out to Rick. It's got this kind of all blue thing. Well, Metallic Charles, man, I posted it in the Discord. That's your fault.
Hey, he's got a baby.
But
It's okay.
That's fair. And so like you want to plan around these boards. I'm re-cerakoting my Fiel because the white came out too of a cool white and it does not match my camping at all. It looks terrible. But you know, I'm sitting there, I'm buying caps for it. Now I'm like, great, I've got this green board. Like, what the fuck am I going to do with this now? I have to change a lot of different plans. And on top of that, while the candy bar is a very unique and niche layout, it might be difficult to get your money back on that immediately. Like GMK sets, if you have a GMK set that you've never even mounted or maybe mounted once, that'll flip really fast. You'll sell that in a day.
everyone like regardless of if there's a color matching issue, there's always going to be someone that's like, ooh, I like this better. Yep. Maybe someone who's like, it's not really for me when it was in group buy or in interest check comes out and they're like, oh man, I gotta have that. That happens tons of times.
Every single keycap set.
Yeah, a board like this, the candy bar, it's a unique niche layout. Not to mention the fact that it was sold a lot of times with the keycaps, like that was an option. So it was meant to be a matched pair. Like the mint chip board with the brown chocolate keycaps was supposed to be a matched pair. Obviously, it looks more like someone said it looked more like a
Kelly green.
Like a Kelly green, or they went for the mint leaf. Maybe they're trying to go for like an Andes mint vibe.
Wrapper.
Yeah, like the wrapper.
They went for the wrapper, but not the actual mint on the inside. How funny would that be, though, if they're like, yeah, Andes mints. And they're like, yeah, I totally know what you're going for. Pull the green. Anyway, unfortunate situation. I hope that can get remedied in some way. Also, 159, I'm confused on
what the color was supposed to be of that signal.
What was it supposed to be? I see a picture of a board and I'm like, yes, this exists, but but yeah, that was, like I said, that was brought to my attention by Mr. Langlandia. That's that is, it looks like the ink ran out. So, but yeah, it's one of those things that I think, Cerakote's a really good option. Here's the big secret. You go to your nearest, especially if you live in Texas, because you can find them everywhere. You go to your nearest like gun range. You ask where to get your gun Cerakoted, and they will tell you good places, and they'll give you a couple different ones. And then you bring your board, and they'll most likely do it because most keyboards are going to be a little easier than like intricate metallic parts of guns. And you can get them Cerakoted, probably for pretty inexpensive too.
And so call or go to a gun store and ask them, because if you do the research online, a lot of times you won't find like 100% best information, because there's a lot of stuff that happens in that industry that like people aren't going to post online about. People aren't like ranting and raving about their gun that they got Cerakoted. But yeah, go, whether it's whether it's a Walmart or a Cabela's, or it's just some random mom and pop shop, call them, ask them, and they will know someone local. They will 100%. Someone.
So if you're not happy, candy bar users, you can always go get it Cerakoted. But that's why like oftentimes I just try and stick, you do you, and but like I will try and stick with more neutral colors because that's gonna kind of look some of the best. So I say that, and I'm slowly kind of moving away from neutral colors. I think my OSA is my only gray board right now, which is strange to think about. But it's a shame that it happened, and I feel bad for anybody that's actually like, because I would be legitimately upset. But live and learn, So I like gray boards in general. Cartoon 91. It's the right answer. I don't have anything for Modern Adult right now, though, to sit on, because I don't have Blind Assassin. I say big thank you. I gave him my
your split space
bars. So.
I've got some pink ones you can use.
So yeah, please put your accent space bars in not OSA, but Alice style layout boards, please. Anyway, if you guys have questions, comments, add us in the chat, please. Don't do that. Oh, hush. So, but yeah, if you guys have any questions for us, have any comments, add us, or have any more hot takes.
Yeah, I think I still can't believe it's funny. I think we are a little bit spoiled now. We expect so much, and rightfully so. The community's gotten so big. People are putting a lot more money into the community. Like the community is a lot more prosperous than it was a couple of years ago. But we have come a long way. In color matching issues that we've had recently, some people may be more upset than others. That's kind of how everything works. Welcome to the life. But we've come a long way. Things have gotten better. We're not having issues the way we did before, I think.
Yeah.
And also, don't necessarily believe the hype. Like, don't buy into it. Find out for yourself. There's a lot of people I know that get upset about things, and I'm like, well, have you seen it in person? They're like, well, I don't need to see it in person. I'm like, yes, you do.
Don't judge a book by its cover. That's GMK Lime. Wasn't a huge fan of the renders. Looked so much better in person.
Yeah. I'm not saying you shouldn't expect so much. It's okay to expect a lot. But I think a lot of people get upset and are very vocally upset without having the full information, without looking at the actual like set when it's out. Like, look at it in person. You have a friend that has it, meet up with them, take a gander at it, take it outside, see if you like it better. You might find out that you enjoy it more than you liked the renders. Who knows?
Who knows? At least we have Mechs on deck to ease our pain. We will happily ease your pain with anger and salt. How do you feel about Cafe being color matched to look like Olivia?
Get as close as you can, baby. Okay. I have a request.
Yeah, I would like to. Sorry, this is about the Cafe Olivia thing.
Oh, okay.
Is that what yours is about?
No.
No. I want Cafe to be as close to Olivia as Olivia is to Carbon.
Here you go. I think I can't remember who it was when the renders or the interest check for GMK 8008 was released. I can't remember who it was, but I think it might have been like Tombury or something that posted looks like Olivia. It was someone that's like somewhat notable in the community that said looks like, I can't tell the difference between this and Olivia. I want that person to post a picture of a set of 8008 like physically next to a set of Olivia, because
just put the enters or put the escapes right next to each other. They're going to be vastly different.
It's not the same. Doesn't someone post that for every IC? They do, but this was like
legitimate because this is the dumbest thing. People get attached to a color. People get so effing attached to a color. And because
I just want to see everyone do it for every set, just so they can see, they can show it at the end.
A Blotski.
It was a Blotski. Okay. It was a Blotski. I'm sure it was a joke, but it would have been.
People get so attached to wanting to call people out, start drama, all that BS. I'm just like, whatever, man. They all look to the colorblind. They all look the same. Like we're playing with the RGB dials from 0 to 255. We're messing with those on 3 different parts of a keycap profile. So
yeah, Dixie made that. That was hilarious. That was funny. And I know he did that for Mizu as well.
Yeah.
And then I think Yanglad, or not Yanglad, I think Langlandia did that for Grain, where he's like, I'm just going to go ahead and get this out here. He did it.
Yeah, just get ahead of the game. Do you think renderers should start buying color fans? I think it would vastly help them. It would be a good way to sell yourself as a renderer. Go, hey, what color RAL is it? Because I now have done everything I can to color match it. So
yeah, I think that renderers,
the Mizu Olivia thing is always like probably one of the funniest, dumbest things I've ever seen in the hobby.
Yeah, I think it's it doesn't look close. It's not even in the saturation levels are not even the same. Like if you're colorblind, it looks different.
What part of this looks like charcoal and rose gold?
Here's my thing. Okay, if you want to know a set looks like another set, find someone who is colorblind and ask them to look at the renders to see if they look the same. And that's how you know if it looks close. Because if they
This
say
is
that
how-
looks exactly the same, then it's probably fairly close.
Nice. This is how funny Mizu is to me, I think. All right. It literally shifts how blue it is. Like that almost looks white. And then it's like super blue. And then it gets really dark blue. Like Mizu is one of the funniest sets to look at because it just looks like it's constantly changing colors.
Yeah, I mean, Mizu is a hard set to take a picture of.
Terra will be
Terra.
will be the same way. Terra is going to be the exact same way.
For colorblind Twitch us. If you didn't know, Quakeham's from Top Clack is colorblind. Chat. It's funny.
GMK Quakeham's coming soon. There's no legends, or there are legends, but there's just like black on darker black.
Yeah, I think a lot of people. I wanted to talk about the Ralk things and the color fans. I think not only designers, renderers, really anyone that's touching the set should have a in-person version of what that color is supposed to look like. They've got something to do with it. They might as well have the RAL book, the Pantone chips. It's only a couple bucks to order them. You can get a RAL book in like German for like $40 on Amazon. You're not going to know what they're called, but you can look them up online, so it'll be okay. Just buy one.
Yep. Should I pre-order GMK Bleached? I mean, that's up to you, man. If you can financially afford it right now, and that's a smart decision, and you want it, go for it. If you don't, carry on. So, do you think it's too much to ask for designers, though? You're technically not supposed to replace them, or you're technically supposed to replace them every year.
If they're $40 and you're making more than one set a year, I'm sure you could probably set aside $40 from your money from your GMK set succeeding to even $150. I'm sure you could set aside $150 from your fee if you want to continue. If you're like, I want to make more sets, that's a justifiable purchase. That is a justifiable expense.
And I'll put this. I'll put this in Drifting Bunnies terms. Just it's a part of the expense of designing a keycap set. Like, and just include that in your expense. I had to spend some money to make the Baca work, to get the Baca up and running.
I mean, in all honesty, you could say, dear vendor who's helping me with this set, can you send me a RAL book so I can just 100% verify before we move forward?
Yep.
More often than not, the vendor is going to make sure that they have those updated books because it's on them. Like they are the one that gets all of the flack if your set comes out wrong.
Speak for yourself.
GMK also apparently sends RAL books if you want. That is interesting. I did not know that.
So there you go. It's
speak for yourself.
But that's to me, that's something like if I found out that a guy that's like, I want to make this set, it looks good on these 2 or 3 renders of just things. And I'm like, oh, like, are you going to use RAL colors? Like, yeah, I can't wait to use RAL colors. I'm like, oh, well, like what RAL book? He's like, I've never seen a RAL book. I'd be like, cool, I'm not buying your set because you're not. I think at this point, we're almost to the level. It's like we should be expecting a level of professionalism with keycap designers that if your set's going to sell that much, you need to treat it as a project. And part of that project is buying whatever tools you need to make this project worth it, because people are going to be spending upwards of anywhere between $100 and $250 on this. And I would be upset if someone was like, yeah, I need to sell 250 sets, which is, $25,000 to $50,000. I'm asking the community to put into this, and you won't even put in $150 to get a RAL chip book. I'm like, I don't like that. I would not be happy with that.
Yeah, I think that goes back to you're buying into the person. And so I think that you want to have people who are invested in themselves because it is a reflection of themselves as well.
Mhm.
their ability to match the color, their ability to understand what that color looks like. Um, I think they should have that.
Yep.
If I mean, we've got keycap sets that are making at or as much as $500,000, right? Takes some simple math to figure out that some sets are making in the quarter to $500,000 range in terms of their overall sales.
Mm-hmm.
And like $150. Come on, man.
Yep.
We all have things.
And yeah,
we're talking about $600+ keyboards that people are putting these on. You can justify spending a.
Are you toxic like weekly? That yacht. I was gonna make this joke, by the way, but this is 100% why Dixie's never gonna sell 8008 extras. Is because he wants a Scrooge McDuck back part of his yacht that he can dive into his 8008 caps and swim around in them.
It's not profit, young lad. Or yes, we are not talking. It's not $500,000 in profit. That's just what is the term for that? Drifting bunnies, help me out, Mr. Accountant Man. Gross. There you go.
Isn't upping the barriers of entry? At what point in time are we going to start upping the barriers of entry? At what point of time are we going to start assuming and start expecting people to put professionalism behind their keycaps?
Yeah, it's because
there's going to be a time, and at least with GMK, it's starting to get to that point where it's like you're going to have to start competing. You're going to have to start upping your game and doing things in a more professional mannerism, and that's where this community is leading. That's where it's going to have to go if this community is going to pick up and become even slightly mainstream.
Well, and it's funny because I think there were people who will defend the way that they shouldn't have to spend that, who are also the people on the back end that will flip around and say, why does my set not look like it's supposed to?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like you can't have both. Like you can't expect people not to invest on the front end. I think invest on the front end. Do it. It'll make it so much easier. People aren't going to bitch and moan at you as much because you're going to be closer.
Yeah. Bean Lover asked, will you two ever drop a key set in the future? Not together. We usually Cyrus and I would literally never be able to design a keycap set together unless it was the 3 predetermined colors of Mechs on deck, which that ran as GMK Delta back in November. So, no, I know Cyrus has been working hard on a set for a while. The only set that I even had thought about making wound up being GMK Grain.
EPBT or PBT grain.
Or Infinity Grain.
Yeah.
Not GMK, but yeah, Infinity Grain. So I'm not. I would rather. I would cut support for no, because I like 75%, and that's basically the same. So, but no, I think I would rather spend the time designing a board than going into a cap set. I'm happy with the amount of cap sets, but the amount of boards that I like and that I want is not as many as the sets that I want. So,
yeah, I think,
and we would never be able to design a board together either because our preferences are too different.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say I like to try to be a little bit more aggressive with like design chain things being weird and trying to do crazy things. I told Chewy about a board that I wanted to design and all the things that I wanted to do it.
The whole time. I was just like, what the fuck are you even talking
There
about?
are like things that people do, and I'm like, yeah, it's not necessarily like on like, it's not like it's a different technology or different like crazy like innovating at all. It's just doing things differently and putting design and trying to put, yeah. Maybe one day we'll see. We're not going to probably do a set together unless, like you said, if it was Mechs on deck colors.
Yeah, that's because also our color preferences are very, very different.
Yeah.
Like just in general. So Yeah. Pluto, man, the board he was sketching out to me, I was just like, dude, this is going to cost you like $900. This is more expensive. It's basically a Evolve level of weight design.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know if you can even do that. If you could.
It was
Like,
lots of like things recessed in places that aren't normally recessed in other, like, yeah. I asked someone how much it would cost to just get a prototype of it run, and I was told well over $1,000 for a 65% board.
hands down.
So
But wait, it looks like it's porn stash. That would be funny. Though I do like the idea of making the 65%, but then like taking like filling in the top part of the case, where it's just like a 60% just grayed out. Just like 65%. There's no place to put your keys on there, but there you go.
Or
You
you
happy
just-
now? It uses a 65% PCB. Shut the fuck up.
or you just really debate the person so hard and you cut it all out, right? And you get the PCB and it's got the place for him, but it's not actually like wired into the controller, so it just doesn't do anything.
It just doesn't do anything.
It's like, oh, that's where you put your artisans. Come on, man.
Easy.
Oh man.
So, but yes. So all in all, I think summaries are don't be too quick to start judging keycap sets. Sometimes they are going to be different, and that's okay. Not like it's not okay if it's vastly different, but if we're talking like tweaks, and that's a very subjective thing. But if we're talking tweaks, like I think 8008, that's a tweak. That's not a huge effort to try and make something super different. Mizu is just a tough one. Like think about colors and how they look together, and avoid falling into the trope of like, oh, everybody says Mizu's crap, so Mizu's crap now. It's like, no, Mizu's not crap. Someone else said it didn't look that good, and you looked at a picture and went, oh yeah, I agree. And it's like, yeah, because you picked the worst picture possible.
Absolutely.
So don't fall into that, and sorry about your candy bars.
Dude, come on. It's candy bars. That is bad. But yes. Take some time. Take a gander at it. You might end up loving it. As a lot of people did with Necro, they ended up liking it more.
Yep. So, real quick, shout out to our sponsors. You can go to candykeys.com/Mechs on deck to pick up GMK Noel. So definitely go hit that up. If you use that link, it helps support us, do some awesome stuff. So thank you very much. Zap Cables makes the best cables in the business. So be sure to hit them up for some pre-mades or design one or make one yourself. It's actually a lot easier. If you can make a keyboard, you can make a cable. And then Type Beast, go hit up his newsletter at typebea.st or Type Bay Street.
Yeah. and then Dixie Mech, you can go to mechsondeck.dixiemech.com, pick up GMK Nautilus 2. You're not going to have to worry about color matching with that one because it's already happened before, so they already know what's going on, and it'll look just like it did before, I think. I don't think they're planning on changing that. Switchmod.net /Mechs on Deck. Get 4% off what they've got in stock over there. Also, check out GMK Frost Witch, which will be up for sale later this week. I believe it's either the 18th or 19th. Don't remember exactly off the top of my head. And then last but not least, you can go to Project Keyboard. That's mechsondeck.project.link. Pick up some Bingsu pre-orders. It's coming out soon. I know that they're looking to get that here pretty quick. And then they're also running a GMK Masterpiece next month, which is a beautiful looking blue set with Japanese, not sub-legends, but actual legends, which is cool.
That's
I
dope.
like it.
It's Type Beast monthly. Type Beast is not monthly. It's just kind of, I don't want to say sporadic because that sounds like not accurate. It's just it comes out when there are a lot of new things to talk about. What in tarnations is a Bingsu?
I
Could have
hear
fooled me.
it's a dessert thing, maybe.
Sure. Anyways, come check out, hang out tomorrow. I am going to be building this very awesome Baca 60, the Baca 60 in the Minnesota Timberwolves colorway.
Milwaukee Bucks.
Milwaukee Bucks. And Zap's probably gonna remove our partnership now.
Dude,
so-
you know what? It would be Timberwolves if you took that weight and
Right?
put
That's
that
what-
in
honestly,
your blue.
I was looking at this in the camera and I was like, that's green. You know what else is green? Sometimes the Timberwolves have the green, but also Kevin Garnett played for the Celtics. That's where my brain went. Anyway, yeah, Timberwolves haven't been good since Kevin Garnett left, and then he came back for like
And Kevin
3
Love
years.
for a while before he went to the Cavaliers.
before he went and was better somewhere else. Anyway, so come check me come check me out. Come check out this build. It looks amazing. I'm excited to show it off. We're gonna have some creams in here and have a good time. So that's tomorrow at 8 p.m.
All I'm saying, if you don't get a like Giannis cap made from some artisan maker, I'm gonna be a little bit disappointed because that would look pretty sweet. A little like 34 there. That's his number, right? He's 34.
Maybe I don't follow
Giannis
basketball.
Antetokounmpo. I don't know how to say his name correctly. Yeah, he's 34. All right, I did remember that. He's nuts. But yes, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. If you're new here, be sure to join us on Discord. Check us out on YouTube. We got a bunch of stuff over there. Typing test, build streams, tons and tons of other stuff going on over on YouTube and in the Discord.
I should look up someone. Who's the better May player? I'm going to go ahead and say it's Osiris because Osiris still plays Overwatch. I have not played Overwatch in a hot minute.
I don't think Chewy's played Overwatch since the 24-hour stream back in November.
That was the last time I think I played. Enjoy the stream. Who should we stream? Are we streaming Anthony or are we streaming Mentorly?
May is not Bay. May is the demon in Overwatch, only to be overtaken by the
BT.
succubus that is Brigitte.
Actually, we have not. We haven't. I don't think we. Yeah, we haven't hit BT.
Let's hit
Have
BT.
Yeah, we'll hit BT.
What,
Let me see what he did.
what would you rate the movie Ratatouille on a scale of 1 to 10, Chewy?
9.
9?
Ratatouille is amazing.
Ratatouille is a good movie.
So BT's playing Valorant. So be sure to hit him up. Brandon Taylor, if you haven't seen, he's a tech reviewer who also has started really getting into keyboards. So we're gonna say gimme dat D in parentheses model D.
Jeez.
So we're just gonna spam that.
You're borderlining the eat the fucking pickle
Hey man.
level of interestingness. Yeah.
So spam that in his chat, please, because I think he will think it's funny. And he's playing on Mizu, which and you'll see we've been talking about it. You will see on his desk Mizu that straight up does not even look like Mizu because color can be goofy. So anyway, let me click here, start raid. So thank you guys. Wednesday we got Mr. Keebs coming on the stream to come hang out. And other than that, thank you guys for showing up, coming up, talking about colors.
Yeah, y'all have a good night. Enjoy yourself some BT, play some Valorant, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Bye, Switch Tester.